Well, hey everybody, it's Chuck. Welcome back to the apiary. Well, we got a lot of chores to do today, and I figured I'd bring the camera along with me and talk a little bit about what's going on, what you might see today. It's about 7:30. We got down to about 45 last night, and so it's a little bit chilly. But I've got a graft this afternoon, so I've got to get a cell builder going this morning. I got somebody coming by to buy a nuke and some queens today, so I got to get those ready. And then I need to check my swarm traps because I haven't checked them, and I got to go back to work on Saturday, so I need to either leave them in the trees, understand where they are, or get them off the trees and just let them sit where they're going to sit. Don't want them to get too big. I did catch just a little swarm in a little 3-frame nuke yesterday. Just happened to, bees flew into a box and it was an unmarked queen, so it's not one of my queens. Every single one of mine is marked that I'm aware of, unless there are some queen cells that have hatched. But to get started today, we're gonna work on a cell builder. I've got this one right here that I think I'm gonna use as a cell builder. Obviously I can get in there and change my mind. I don't have any dedicated cell builders. Oh, I have an update. You remember last week we went through all these hives, the top and the bottoms with the double screen boards, and we were looking for the queens and we were going to combine them, and I didn't find any eggs. A little bit stumped because it was time for them to lay eggs, but the way we ended that video was just to say, let's give it another week. And I went through every single one of these hives and I had eggs in either the top or bottom or both, just like I expected to have last week. So to just kind of wrap up that video, because I didn't get it on film, like here on this, you can even see the newspaper combines here, right here. I've got basically a queen in either the top or the bottom. I left the queen where she was, and if the other side, if I either remove the queen or they didn't have a queen, that's where, they'll migrate to. I just set a sheet of newspaper on there, a couple slices, and combine it. Is the newspaper required for a combine? Probably not. It probably depends on the temperament and the strength of the hive. I just had some newspaper, and that's my tried and true technique. There's probably a lot of other ways of doing those combines. If you got some ideas on those the way you combine, let me know. Throw some comments down here about how you do it. So that kind of wraps that up. So every one of the production hives is now queen right with either last year's Harbo 4 or this year's daughters that are open mated. I have not instrumentally inseminated any queens yet because I haven't got the drones. But actually, when we do this combine, I'm actually going to check a few drones in there, because this, I'm sorry, I said combine. When I get the cell builder going, I think this is the one I'm going to use. I've got this one labeled as a Harbo 3 or 4, and I have not grafted off of that one. So any drones in there are candidates for any instrumental insemination. So I may pop a drone or two to see if they're mature, and maybe I'll show you that. All right, let's get going. I'm just gonna drag the camera with me today, maybe turn it on and off, and maybe we'll combine this later on in the afternoon. Stick with me, guys. All right, everybody, let's get in this hive and see what we got here. Right now, it's a double between a excluder. They're probably not gonna be real happy with this little 50-degree air popping in their hive, so I'm gonna at least pull my veil over. Yeah, looking good. Yeah, good. This has been building up. This was, the notes on this hive say I moved it from another hive. And this is above an excluder, so they should just be building or having space for bees up here. Yeah, got me already on the finger. Through the glove. Didn't like that. So I put some brood up here is what I had done the last time. So I kind of mini Demaree it, just separating brood away from the nest last time I was in here. That's all capped and hatching. Same thing here, capped and hatching. Got a few cups down here, nothing to worry about because there's no queen, no eggs, but just kind of keep breaking those down. Yeah, lots of good. Now, this is a good example of a hardbow hive. Can you see all that bald brood? That is cap recap. Those are purple-eyed workers that they are in the process, and more than likely, every single one of those that is uncapped has a mite in it that is not successfully going to be able to reproduce. That is a very good example of what we used to call spotty brood or bald brood, but that is the hygienic behavior for Varroa on these queens. So without even doing a hardbow, I can come in and look for that bald brood, and I know they have hygienic behavior. When I've done my hardbows, you don't count cells that are being uncapped, but every time I would just kind of open up one of those bald brood open cells, there'd be a founder's mite in there that is not able to reproduce. So when I see that, that reinforces my assurance that the hygienic behavior is present in this hive, which is really, really good to see, which goes back to that point of this being a hive that I could use for a drone source for insemination. If I get in here in the reconfiguration process, I see some drones. I don't have my drone cage with me, and if I do start to see some mature drones, I'll have to go get that, and I'll show you how I do that. I apologize for the saws. That's just the way it is around my apiary right now. Hopefully that my microphone is not making that intolerable. Okay, so this is going to be the cell starter. So I need to make the top, which doesn't have a lot of frames in it, packed with bees, and the bottom be below a double screen board with the queen and just enough bees to keep them warm. The coldest days have passed now, so this is not a problem to take bees for tonight. It's going to be warmer. I need to leave some bees. I can't take all the bees, but that's just kind of the way this works. I got some. They're drawing out goofy comb. See that? They're drawing out some of it good, but of course they're putting some cells with no eggs in it on some goofy drone comb. But I have a solution for that because I cleaned. Let me show you that. I did my pressure wash re-wax technique on my drone frame. See that? So I took all of the wax off, put it in the wax melter, and then I pressure washed all the cocoons off, and now I've re-waxed it. So if they want to lay drones, I will give them a place to lay drones. I'm just making sure there's no eggs in here. Nope, just goofy comb that I'm going to make them restart. Yeah, okay, this is good. So I need to get my double screen board set up. With an empty box so I can shake bees and let them start flying away. That's not a very good square box. I need a good square one. Keep them tight. I don't know if you guys can see me. I'm kind of walking around, but I look for the queen initially, and then I'm going to shake and then let these guys fly home. And there's a better picture of kind of the wonky comb they were doing. A little bit of wonky there, not kind of doing it like I want. Nice frame of pollen on the end there. Drones. Let's kind of do a quick check here. I'm going to show you how we do this. Up close, you're probably not going to be able to see because I don't have great light. But you massage the drone, and with my gloves on, it's a little harder to see, until he averts, with a slight rolling position, and then a squeeze. I think you can see there. And there, his endophallus is averted, and if you can see, the horns, his cornica, I believe I pronounced that right, are white. That's an immature drone. So they turn a little orange. I'll just give you the secondary version for the endophallus coming all the way out, and then the semen will be on the tip of that section. But this was an immature drone. So walking around in here, he could have been born yesterday. So it's not a, that doesn't mean this hive doesn't have any mature drones. It just means the ones walking around might be. Lots, oh my God. Here's, look at the ball brood on this. You see them open, that is cap, recap, like a fury going on in here. There's another drone, we'll do another one. And then we'll shake and we'll keep going. See if I can keep this in the light a little bit better. Some white, immature. There's a secondary version. No semen will be on an immature drone like that. He just hadn't had time to develop it yet. Sometimes, I got this, yeah, you're going inside under my glove. You're gonna get me. I got this excluder double screen one from Better Bee 2 years ago at Knobby. Initially, I was a little upset because they were sold out of the single excluders division. You know, these are separation board. But you know what this has turned in for me? This has turned into an amazing shaker box. I don't know. I'll just kind of turn you guys a little bit so you can see. So I use that double, and now inside of a box, it's a shaker box. Instead of setting up a whole box, I can just use that little divider board. That has been a great hack. I have the single one also, but you just don't have the room to do a shake like that in it. It's more for just keeping the queen isolated. That's what it's called. I think it's called an isolation board. Wow, lots of larvae. This is uncapped. Eggs, larvae, doing good in here. Lots of drones on this one. Go a little bit faster on some of these other drones just so I can see if there's any mature drones in here. Nope, immature. Immature. So this one might not be ready yet. The best way to get mature drones is catch them when they're flying, because only the mature drones fly. But I'm gonna leave those guys on that uncapped brood, so I'm not gonna shake that one. This is a drone frame. Lots of drones on this frame. That might be a better one to check. Immature. See them hatching in here? Another technique is to mark these guys as they're hatching and come back 20 days later. The fact they're all hatching in here means these are not going to be ready for a few more weeks. But if they're walking around, I have no idea how old they are. They could be weeks old or days old. Immature. Yeah. Here's a good look at this drone brood frame though. All that emerging drone brood. And she's relaying it up good. More cups on here. They're not in swarm mode, I can tell, but they're making lots of cups. They could get that way, the right weather. More cups. She's laying this up. pollen frame, freshly drawn wax frame. Don't see her on here. So either I missed her or she's in there somewhere else. Probably missed her. I'm going to put that drone brood frame that I did right next to that other one. Lots of uncapping here. I would love for them to continue making drones. I do need to kind of see if she's in here. Still too many bees. Keep shaking. She's not going to be in here because this is above the excluder where there were no eggs. These are just frames I'm putting in here for the cell builder. And a feeder would be good to put in there too. I do need to put my eyes on this queen one way or another. Either in that shaker box or I need to just double check she's back in here. I can kind of assume that I've got her, but that's not a smart move. Because if she's in here, it will not work. I don't see her, so I either missed her or she's in that shaker box still. So I'm gonna do a quick look through here. This pollen frame I want next to my grafts. There she is. All right, so I've got her located. That was a little bit longer ordeal than I expected, but now that I've got this in shape, I can put it all back together. Keep this warmth going. All right, queen is spotted in the bottom. This hive is going to need some more bees in the top, so we're not done here with the cell builder, but I just wanted to, hopefully I sped that up for you a little bit. Queen's in the bottom, move some brood up top just for young brood. The warmth is going in there, lots of nurse bees in the top. The workers are going to stay up top that are young, and the foragers are going to come back and keep the bottom warm. So this is a cell starter for this afternoon. Anyway, stick with me, we'll do a little bit more. Hey, you still with me? All right, so I got this, so I had to sell some queens in a little nuke box. Shout out to Joe Post and Dale, who just stopped by, bought some queens in a box. So I'm just throwing feed in this starter here. It's warming up, these bees are starting to fly. But here, you know, take a look, see what I mean? This will be good for a certain number of cells. I mean, it's not, you know how you're supposed to have overflowing bees? That is true. That's as overflowing as I'm probably going to get for this graft set. I may need to modify how many I graft or whatever based on the number of bees I got, or if going through some hives a little later on today I get a whole bunch, I can do some shakes. But that's that one. What I wanted to show you, just got to keep up with me. We're going to go check on these virgins I got banked in here. I haven't checked on them, so I'm just going to set you there. Where do you want to sit? Come on, YouTube, tell me where you want to go. Let's go right here. And I'm gonna tilt you up a little bit so you can see this Demaree where I've got these virgins. Okay, they're up in here, I think. I hadn't been here in a few days. So I need to, where's your hive tool, Chuck? I need to get one of those magnetic ones like that guy up in Canada, University of Guelph has. I think I like that thing. I think this is just my second layer. I don't think I have any bees. Oh yeah, I got my virgins, here they are. So here we are with Schrodinger's cat again. Are they alive or are they dead? Just banked. I'll be darned. They're alive. So oh, did you see that? Man, I need to build a new case. I flipped them upside down like that case was holding them, but that's a gravity case. We got virgins. We got virgins. There's one that's not alive. I don't think she's alive. No wiggle. No, she's not alive. These are the Apis engineering cases. Dale McMahon and Crispin. They were the ones running the training at University of Florida for the artificial insemination. They came down from Indiana. I've got some modified designs I'm working on. The biggest being to fix the issue you just saw is I need a case that holds them a little bit better. But this worked. So these virgins, they need to be mating right now. They're ready for instrumental insemination, but I just popped a whole bunch of drones and I don't have any mature semen yet. I'm not ready to give up on these, but I got 7 virgins that are alive that were just in the top of this. I'm gonna keep them up here, but they did good in those cases. And what I learned, you know how last time I opened them up and they were, the virgins need to be able to get away from the bees, and that's what this style does, is this side is all protected, so if the virgin is getting harassed, she can go in the back. I mean, that one's dead maybe from lack of food or attention or whatever. There's still candy in the bottom, and she may have just gotten stuck on the candy too down there. She doesn't look really desiccated. She may have just died yesterday. Anyway, life and death in the apiary. Let's just crack. So now I know where my virgins are. Let's just take a peek and see where we're at on this hive. Oh man, we're looking good. That's a double above an excluder. This is a Demaree. This is the one I did my cell builders on the other day. Oh wait, dang, I forgot I got more virgins. Oh man, and they're drawn. So this is the other case. And see, this case has got this rubber band, and they kind of sit in these little trays. That's how this works. But yeah, they still look good. I'm trying to figure out, oh, I need to remember the dates of these virgins, because these are different virgins' dates. I'm gonna put them up here together though. What should I put in the top? Let's take another look. Yeah, this guy's looking great. I need to probably put this wax over here, so let them start drawing that out. Got another one over here. Let me get my stand. Let's take a look inside this bottom. We need to kind of make sure that we don't have any swarm cells growing in the bottom of here. It's about time to set these Demarees up for honey production. Can you believe this? Wow, it's looking good over here. I have not checked drones in this hive. I do have a drone comb frame in the middle. I forgot I put that in there. This is an H3, H4 / Hive 2. See if I clean this one out, or if this is an old one. Oh, fresh drone comb. See, I cleaned this one out. So this is how I wasn't doing this right years before. I was putting these drone comb frames on the edge and just acting like make drones if you want. But now that drones are so much more important to me, I'm cleaning them, getting that nasty old dark wax out, and letting them redraw it. Look, can you see the drones in there? And this is right in the center of the brood nest. There's a drone. Now, let's just kind of take a quick check on this guy. He's walking around the drone comb frame, but none of this is hatched. Nope, his cornica's white, so he is not mature either. I just kind of want to get a little bit of a glance in here to make sure. I mean, I could rotate some brood frames. So, this is a frame that I made off of an idea from Ryan Williamson up at Sourwood Farms. It's a sheet of foundation in the middle, half sheet of foundation. And Ryan, if you don't watch my videos, but if you did, I like this idea. Look at all that drone comb on the edge and how they're starting to draw out this foundation here in the middle. And that'll be honey on the edges, and it'll be a nice frame, but this drone is much more mature. Let's see if we can get a drone or two off of this frame just to kind of check. White cornica. You can't see that, but maybe you can. Gosh, I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not saying it right, I'm going to be pretty embarrassed. There's another little guy. White, immature. I mean, I can see them emerging on this. This is where, if you wanted to, like for an example, they taught us how to do this. You need to remember the color that you do on what day, but you know, as these drones are emerging, can you see this? There's drones emerging on here. When they come out, and after he comes out, little drone right there, I'm gonna put a little white dot on him. And you could also say anybody walking around slowly that just hatched on this frame, you could put a dot on and kind of assume he just hatched. Like, I'm gonna give you a little dot. And this only works if you're gonna come back 20 days later. because all you're doing is saying this drone is from this hive. This is a little bit of how you double check the drifting, that you're not getting drifted bees. Now, if you're marking a drone that's already drifted in here, you lost track. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna flip it over the other side, mark some drones. Hey, little guy, little football players. Little football players. I call them football players because they got big broad shoulders and beady eyes. Little white dots on them. And sometimes it's fun on the landing board to watch the guys that you've marked fly in and out. You know, their lot in life is more likely to not succeed mating than to succeed. So, man, there's a lot on this side. Ooh, mite. Mite on the drone. Marking drones. What I need to do, just in case I do see these, I'm gonna just do, on my note cards, marked white drones on the 18th or 19th, whatever today is, 19th. Ooh, I think I got his eyeballs. Not gonna be able to see so good. All right, that's probably enough, just to kind of demonstrate what I'm doing here. Plus, I also, I keep seeing new ones. Every time I see a new one, I want to mark it. I don't know, it's like a whack-a-mole game. Man, if you could get your kids to do this for you, you'd be winning. One more. All right, we're done. Demonstrated that. But I do need to remember white. Marked white today. Let's kind of see what else we got in here. Don't want to see. Wow. Lots of drones. Wow. Maybe I need to keep checking these drones for, maybe on one of these different frames, we'll find some mature ones. Nope, immature. Immature. Nope, they're just not ready yet. I'm seeing drone cells on the bottom of these frames and not queen cells, so our Demaree on this one has worked well. Lots of brood. Probably gonna see mama here in a second. I really don't need to. Well, you know, I could rotate some of these frames up, all these cap brood cells, and kind of keep Demaree in this one. So she's got laying room. Oh, look at that beautifully drawn out white wax. Eggs in every single cell. This is gonna be a monster hive. I use this one for queens, my queen cell twice already, 2 or 3 times. So it didn't set them back one bit. Wow. Some cups on the bottom here. No cells, no eggs in them, just natural cups you typically see. Yeah. All right. I need to set, I'm going to rotate some of these out just to continue to give her room to lay. So double checking my queens there. Give them something to do down below with this wax too. I'm not gonna search for her. Yeah, this is what I want. I want hatched out. You know, I could shake some of these bees in this upper above the excluder into that other. There's so many bees in here. Golly. If I see the queen, I can shake all I want to that other hive. But if I don't see the queen, I gotta shake everything in this bottom box. Larva. Oh, golly, that's right. I'm losing track of my queens. That's why we came into this. I got queen cells that I need to get into the incubator. And I did not get these out in time, so you can see the take rate on there is a little bit lower. Man, I've got so many queens coming out my ears. I gotta remember what I'm doing in what hives. That's what happens when you go to work and you get distracted and you forget what you got where. That was on my to-do list, that chore of getting those queen cells out. All right, so this is how I'm doing this. I'm gonna go shake this into this other hive because it was above the excluder. You can still hear me because my mic is on me, so I know you can. Golly, beautiful. Laid up. Don't see mama. Hatching brood, lots of room to lay. That's what the purpose of this in this Demaree method is keep rotating your brood so that she's got room to lay. Lots of pollen. Mama could be anywhere. She hadn't laid this one up too much. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that one there. I might even rotate this, what looks like foundation, into the middle a little bit more. Yeah, they're drawing this out nice. Oh, there she is. So she was on the end frame. Can you see her in the center? So I'm gonna, she's just looking for these brand new cells. She's ready to lay, but they hadn't gotten it enough for her. So now I know where she is. I'm gonna put that on the end. She is on that side of that frame. I could shake the you know what out of the rest of these and very, very quickly give them room. That's a drone frame. I'm not gonna shake a drone frame. I don't need those guys in there. This is a good shake. Yep, lots of larvae in there. Plenty of room to lay here. Get that drone comb frame in here. I just got so many bees in here. I'm just going to use them for that other one. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. She's got room to lay now. Dang. You guys still with me? What do you think about this? Well, that's a self-starter now. Whether you thought I had enough bees before or not, does not matter, because I got enough now. More drone comb. Nice. All right, that's there. What was this one? Was this open? Open with nectar. All right, Mama's down here with all her little attendants. Lots of more laying room. Put my little temperature sensor in here so I can keep track of that. All right, we're gonna put this excluder back on. This needs a honey super for this Demaree. One of these, I'll just use this new one. I didn't have a honey super on it from before because it was acting as a, this feels heavy. Is that water? Oh yeah, rainwater. Huh. I guess I put it in here. I don't want all that rainwater. They may want some of it, but dang, that's full of rainwater. We got 2.5 inches of rain. Didn't have a lid on it, it was just open. All right, so these are wet with rainwater. They're probably gonna love that. It's not filled anymore with rainwater, just wet. All right, how am I gonna put this back together? I got all these virgins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't have room for all of them. I think. Definitely don't need a feeder. Let's get them. We're going to combine these banked virgins. Keeping them together in groups. All right, so that's going in here. This is just foundation, no bees, no wax. All right, so that is done. I got to get those queen cells in the incubator. Another frame of bees. And I'm just gonna write a note. What do I gotta write on here? Remember 18 mark drones white. And then 18 rotate. I gotta have that rotate Demaree so I can keep track of the queen cells they might make on some of that brood up top. And then we got to go get these ladies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is the next round for hopefully getting some insemination done. All right, ladies and gents, thanks for sticking with me. We'll see if we get more today. All right, everybody, we're out checking swarm traps. And I just wanted to show you the sign when I look at a swarm trap, how I know it's time to take them off the tree. And this is a swarm trap I've got hanging up here. And if you just watch, you can tell the activity is no longer exploratory. They're coming and going. The bees are coming in, the bees are coming out, and they're coming and going with a purpose, a mission. They're foraging. And if you stand here 15 or 20 seconds, you'll start to see pollen going in on the pollen foragers rather than the nectar foragers. And pollen is a sure sign that they are raising brood. This is not just a swarm that's checking this out. They don't take pollen into hives they haven't moved in on. So this hive is ready to be taken down because they've got brood to hold them in there, and that brood will be what keeps them in a new box without absconding. So hopefully that makes sense. And that's how we get the swarm traps. Stick around. All right, everybody, I think this is going to be the last segment of this video today. So I showed you how to tell if your swarm's moved into your trap, kind of what to look at, what to look for. But yeah, so we got 3 on that run, which, you know, this is the peak season here in Jacksonville. So I'm just going to set the tripod up and kind of talk you guys through a little bit of this. We've done this before. This is not new. And we'll just kind of see what we got. I'm gonna probably just hive these swarms here with you guys and move them around. We'll see how many frames there are. If I find the queens, I usually mark them with a special swarm mark. Swarm mark for me is usually some sort of bright color and some sort of year color. So like it'll be a white plus a, I don't know, what do I got in my pocket here? Maybe a purple or a red, something that's just non-standard. All right, hopefully you guys can see me. I'm not gonna try to show too much up close, but we'll just, okay, this is just a tiny little 2-3 frame swarm, which is good. Okay, this one's a little bit larger, so I'm gonna do this one first here. I got 4 to 5 frames of bees in here. Kind of take a look at this outside frame. Don't see much activity. Well, yeah, starting to do some wonky comb on here. Drone. Should we do a little drone check? See if the swarms have got mature drones in them. Yep, that's a mature drone. Orange cornula. Just looking for the queen on here, and I'm just going to shake this into this nuke. This is where this one's probably going to go. Not sure if I'm going to give them that frame or not. Oh, I love it how swarms build beautiful white wax. See how they're taking that foundationless frame and just kind of cleaning this all up. That's one of the best things for swarms to do, is just clean up your nasty old frames. Get rid of that old wax with all the coumaphos in it. Not that I've ever used coumaphos, but they say if you're in the United States, your wax has coumaphos in it just because of the age. Got eggs. I see eggs in this beautiful white wax. I'm gonna take all this old yucky stuff off. I'll let them clean it up. They're in wax building mode, so take advantage of it. All right, put that in the center there. I'd say good temperament on these bees. Building out some more. Got a combination of regular brood frames and worker, drone and worker brood. Don't see mama on there. I'm gonna kind of keep their frame lined up, see what we got here. There's mama. Unmarked, beauty. See if you guys can see her here. Right here next to my glove finger. So I'm gonna try to pick her up with a glove tan. You guys know I don't like to do this, but I've been getting a little bit better at it. If you tighten up the gloves, it works a little bit better. Wings, legs, mark. All right. I have no idea if she was born this year or last, so we're gonna do kind of a combination, maybe red, purple. There's a little bit of red. Got some Italian color in her. I'll give you guys a good, I don't know if the light's good enough for you to see it, but can you see the red and the purple? That's what it looks like. All right, and then the last, these are just bees. That's almost a 3-framer. Don't even need the full 5 frames. We'll just kind of see how it goes. I'll give them all 5, let them keep going. Think about the size later. The shake on some of these bees. Get my vial down here, my lure. All right. $3.19, swarm, purple, red. All right, one down. Let's see what this one looked like. 3 frames, 4 frames. This 3-framer might go good in here. I'm not gonna leave these this close. I'm just kind of using this as a spot to put them together. I'll spread them out a little bit after we do the hiving. Looking good in there. Small swarm. Don't know if the queen was on that little piece that fell or not. Hope not. But if she was, I'm gonna be careful where I step. Looking for the queen on the wall. Don't see her. Wonder if she went in or on the ground. Well, don't see her in there. Quick check on the ground again. All right, we'll check back in the box. Double check for eggs. Make sure we didn't get one too early. Yes, I see eggs. So we have a queen, or had a queen. Well, we might just let them settle in and I'll look for her later. I'm just gonna have to assume she's in here or in the box, that I didn't see her. There's a lot of bees in the bottom in there, so. That wasn't so good. All right, we need one more box for this one. Let me see how many frames it is. Okay, this is a small one, so I know where this is gonna go. I'm gonna turn the camera off, stick with me. All right, you back with me? This is gonna go right here. Look at that pretty piece of wax. Lots of eggs. And there's the mama. Another unmarked queen. All right, that is that. All right, everybody. A little bit of hodgepodge today, different things, hiving swarms. You saw us do the queen cell starter. I still haven't grafted yet today. That's probably next on my list, but you guys have seen me graft. Hopefully you enjoy this content. Leave some comments below and let me know what resonated with you and what you find useful. In any case, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody.